Hello, my name is Nick Thoroughman, and this is my capstone project for Savvy Coders. I did a global analysis on startups with the primary objective to engage in a meticulous analysis of funding and geographical data intertwined with the current status of startups. The intention was to provide invaluable insights to startup founders and investors that will empower them to better predict which startups have the highest probability of success, as well as identify the optimum regions for fundraising for specific types of startups. In this build, I use Crunchbase, Kaggle, Python, Jupyter Notebooks, Tableau, DB Browser, and SQL. This is an image of the data that I downloaded from Kaggle, which is our Crunchbase database. As you can see, there's empty fields in some of the rows. Some of the rows had numbers instead of strings, etc. And so I tried cleaning it a couple different ways. The first way is I imported it into DB Browser and I used SQL to clean it. For time purposes, I found it easier to go back and forth out of Jupyter Notebooks and use Python. So in Python, what I did is I imported pandas and NumPy. Then I dropped any duplicates. Then I turned any kind of funding that wasn't showing up as a number into a number. Anything that wasn't a number, I averaged it out over the mean so that my numbers would come out correctly. Then I dropped any rows that were missing anything. Then I exported my data and I imported it into Tableau. In Tableau, I created a dashboard. And on this overview dashboard, you can see that we've analyzed a total of 46,069 startups, the total number of regions being 1,037, the total funding rounds being 88,692, for a total funding amount of 705 billion. On this dashboard, you can see the top 10 companies by funding, by category, by region, as well as when you come down to the bottom right-hand corner, you can see that the category of biotechnology as well as the region of San Francisco are the largest as an overall category as well as in a region. And then it breaks down all the startups and their rounds as well as the amount of investing in each one of those regions. When we go down into the data a little deeper and we look at it from a global scale, what you'll notice is that the US market is 8 times larger than any other market in the world at 166 billion, with China being second at 21.8 billion. Taking this over and looking at the types of startup investments that each country is making, the US is a leader in all categories except for e-commerce, in which China is a leader in e-commerce. If we go down to the top 10 regions for funding, the Bay Area is the largest, New York City and Boston being next. And then you can see how it breaks down farther until we get to Beijing, London, and countries outside the US for their regions. When we look at the startup types that receive the most funding and are the most likely to get funded, that's when you run into biotechnology, software, clean technology, and as you saw in China, e-commerce. And then from all this data, what I did is I took it all and I found all the averages and then I put them in by their status. So what you're seeing in these 3 columns, the first column is acquired, the second is closed, and the third column is operating. And so it's pretty apparent to see that when we go into acquired, biotechnology, clean technology, and software are way more likely to be acquired than, for example, e-commerce. When we look at the startups that close, biotechnology is above average as far as closures go. And software is a little bit above average, healthcare is above average, etc. When we look at the operating companies, you can see that biotechnology, once they get up and going, they continue to operate. Clean technology seems to do pretty good, and software does pretty good as well. As an overall investment and long-term indicator of success, it appears that software is the best investment to make, the least likely to close down, the most likely to be acquired, as well as the most likely to continue operating. And the best region is going to be still the Bay Area around San Francisco, and the best country to start a startup in is the United States. So if you're a startup founder or investor, I hope this helped you. Thank you to everybody at Savvy Coders for all the great information that they've taught us during the course. And Thank you. I have nothing else to say other than I didn't have much for issues because the instruction was great. Thank you so much for your time and have a great day.